What's up, everybody? I am back with another episode of Timeless God Podcast. Without any further ado, guys, let's get straight into this, man. What's up, guys? Okay, so it's been a while. Yes, I know. I know that I always say that it's been a while every single time I come back, but it's literally been a while. The reason for this is because, man, I've just been busy. God has been so amazing to me. He's blessed me with an opportunity to just kind of venture into a more entrepreneurial level in my life. And man, it's just been good. But that's the reason why I haven't been able to produce so much content. But before I get into the topic of today, I just want to send a quick shout out to everybody that's been supporting the page. I was really surprised to see that the YouTube page is actually increasing subscriptions without any content coming in. So before I go on, shout out to you for supporting the page without any content. Thank you so much for being loyal. And from now on, I will try to do my best and get more regular in these segments. So today's topic is kind of like something that was inspired or by instruction through a friend, through the Holy Spirit. One of our friends, me and my wife's friends, kind of reached out to us and say, hey, you guys did an insert a while ago about how to abstain from sex and dating, or how to abstain from sex before marriage. So it'll be cool if you guys did an insert about how it's like now in marriage, so people can see and people can kind of get your testimony of how it's like. So before I continue, shout out to you, Norma Temba, for just your prayers and just being able to just come to us and tell us that, man, I really hope that you get to see this video, and really this video is dedicated to you, and thank you so much. So this is the first segment that I'm gonna do, right? The next part, which is part 2, is gonna be with me and my wife, kind of giving like an perspective from a woman's standpoint. But I just wanted to set like the standard, or kind of just lure you guys a little bit in, so that you can kind of be anticipating and be like mouth watering for the next insert of this sermon or this insert. So here's what I want to come and talk to you guys about. Now that I'm married, right? Now that the wait is over, the dry season is over. I've had a lot of guys coming to me and asking me, how is it like? But a lot of guys have also coming to me and say like, yo, Tsepiso, man, I don't know how I can marry a woman if I don't know how she's like in bed, or I don't know how I can be with somebody that I don't know if they're gonna please me, or if we are not gonna have a good intimate life in the bedroom. And I don't want to live a life where I'm unsatisfied in that area, because that will literally break us up. And here's what comes to mind every single time when someone asks me this, and I'm gonna use an analogy of a fruit, right? If I came to you with an apple, and I give you an apple and I asked you to tell me how this apple tastes like, and at this point you have never had any apples in the past, right? You don't know what an apple tastes like. You have never even seen an apple before, and I give it to you. You just heard that apples taste good, and I give it to you, and you eat it, and you tell me that it's good, or you tell me that it's not good. How can you tell me that it's good or not good if you have no reference of the past, what good and not good is? I hope you guys are getting me where I'm going with this. That how can you gauge whether a woman is satisfying you as a guy in bed, or a man is satisfying you as a woman in bed, if you've never had reference in the past or people in the past that you can take what they gave you and put it in juxtaposed to what you're getting now, to weigh whether what you're getting is good or not? So you get my point. And let's take it back to the Bible, really. God's intention was one woman would be with one guy. One woman would be with one guy. We were designed to hook up with one person. And before we hook up with that one person, we were designed to live a life of abstinence, of not opening the door of sexuality and of sex until we get into the confines of marriage. So now here's what's happening in today's world, is that a lot of young people are engaging in sexual activity with people before they get married, before they even think about marriage. And then we take those things from the past and we get into marriage with them. And now we find ourselves dissatisfied or unsatisfied because we now have reference of what is good or not, which now puts an unfair expectation on the person that we are with, because we are gauging their performance based on people that we've been with in the past. Side note, this whole thing of us saying that, especially you guys, this whole thing of us saying that I don't want to be with a woman that I don't know how the food tastes like. First and foremost, I'm just gonna say this, right? It is a very demeaning thing to describe a woman as something that we need to taste. Like, it is very demeaning to take women, and I'm not just saying this for guys, but also women as well. It is very demeaning for you to take another person and say that I need to taste what it tastes like for me to know that I can get into this. When God's intention was for us to only taste when we get into marriage, so that we could know that when we are in marriage, whatever we receive in marriage would be good to us. Whatever we get in marriage will be good to us. Now, I'm not going to stand here and pretend as if like I lived a life of abstinence in the past, but I'm going to give a little testimony of what I had to do for me to get into this lifestyle. So let's rewind back to 2016. There was a time in my life where I was in a relationship, but this relationship did not really end that well. And where at the end of this relationship, I came to God and said, Lord, obviously I have a type, right? I know the kind of woman that I want, but I don't know the kind of woman that I need. And if I did know the kind of woman that I need, then one of the relationships that I've been with in the past would have worked out. So obviously, I don't know what I'm doing. And I had to come and really submit my relationship to God, submit my sexuality and submit everything that I am to God and ask Him to be the master of this area in my life. And once I did that, there's one book that I really read that really helped me out. That book is called The Wait by Devon Franklin and Megan Good. This book is amazing. If you have access, if you can't get this book, do yourself a favor, read this book. It'll really, really help you out. So I read this book, right? And it really encouraged me into living a life of abstinency. And I realized at that point in time there's a lot of things that I need to do in order to restructure my life so that I can be able to obtain the life that God really wants for me. And one of those things that I need to do was to disconnect myself from environments and situations that were conducive to the life that I did not want to live. So I need to let go of certain things, certain places I could not go anymore, certain people I couldn't hang around with, certain things I couldn't look at on TV, certain pages I couldn't subscribe to anymore. So I had to desire to let go of those things and get into the life that I wanted. And my desire to be in the life that I wanted had to be greater than the desire to be pleased by the things that I was in at that point in time. So I got out of those things and I started a journey, and this journey literally took me 5 years. Now, I'm not trying to say it's going to take you 5 years. What I am trying to say though is that you just need to have the desire to change before change can happen. Fast forward later in these months, I started to realize that the strength and the power that I needed to continue walking this kind of lifestyle was no longer coming from me. It was sort of coming from the Holy Spirit, which is now being worked inside of me and was now taking over that desire, right? And He was giving strength to continue moving. I really hope this insert helped some of you guys out there. So without anything else, guys, I hope this helped. And until the next insert, peace out.